It is Record Store Day 2025, the April Record Store Day 2025. And we woke up to snow. It's April 12th, people. What in God's name is going on? All right, everybody. So here it is. Record Store Day 2025. Great day. Absolutely great day. Ignore the little intro video that I threw on there from before actually getting into the shop when I departed my house this morning. And I was greeted with snow. 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 Four-letter word, snow. April 12th. Snow. Oh my God, snow. I was freaking out. Roads were not great. 40-minute drive to the record store. Want to say thank you to Dennis, John, and James. Thank you so much for hosting Record Store Day today, where I went at Disc and Dat in beautiful Bethel, Connecticut. If you're local, check that place out. Great record store, great little shop, very cool. The owners, the owners and the workers there are just top notch. You can't beat it. It's almost like either being in the mafia or going to Olive Garden. They treat you like family. So hope you liked the little intro. Hope you liked the posters. We got the posters from this year's Record Store Day. Very cool. This one's the the sponsorship Doghead Fish Beer, and this one I really like. It's heavy duty cardboard, and more importantly, Linus and Snoopy. How freaking cool is this? This is one I might actually do something with. I really like this one. This is my favorite one that I've had ever from the Record Store Day giveaways. So that's very cool. So we have that, and we have a mountain of vinyl to show you. So in order to do this, where I'm not killing everybody, sitting here for an hour talking about everything as far as Record Store Day goes, I'm going to chop it up into bite-sized pieces and release several videos over a couple of days, just to make it more manageable for me and hopefully make it more enjoyable for you. So I was thinking of ways like, how could I, divvy this up and make it fair and equitable? Do I put like all the live albums on one video? Do I put all the colored vinyl in one video? Do I put all the exclusive vinyls in one video? And what I came up with was this. I'm just going to do this in alphabetical order because it seems to make the most sense to me. So without further ado, let's jump into Record Store Day 2025. And this one completes a collection or a sub-collection in the Black Sabbath grouping. And that would be the Tony Martin years. We have Black Sabbath, The Eternal Idol, all right? And this is from the analog tapes. It says it features The Shining. It's got other great tracks on here as well. Show you the back of it. A little bit shiny there because I still got the shrink on there. It's got the, the titles of all the albums. If I'm a little goofy tonight, just bear with me. I was up very early this morning, and it's getting late tonight. It kicks off with The Shining. Has Ancient Warrior. Jeff Nichols doing a great job with keyboards on that one. Hard Life to Love, Glory Ride, great tune, Born to Lose, Nightmare, The Scarlet Pimpernel, Lost Forever, and Eternal Idol. So, this is the deal. This is like should have been a Tony Iommi solo album. It's got a host of people on it. The big thing was that Ray Gillen really wasn't doing it, and he went off and did Badlands, which was phenomenal, one of the greatest hair metal albums that ever came out as far as a debut goes. So there was a lot of, after Ozzy then Dio, there was a lot of coming and going with singers. You had Ray Gillen, you had Ian Gillen. It's like they just couldn't find someone, and Tony Martin kind of restored that that solidity, that pillar, and what some people really kind of crapped on when it first came out. You go back now and you listen to those Ray Gillen albums, Tony Martin albums, and they're really pretty damn solid. Aside from Tony on this album, you had Dave the Beast Spitz, Danny Spitz from Anthrax's brother. Who else did we have on this? I'll show you the lyrics that we have here as well. And it's funny because you call it a Sabbath album, but you've got Tony Martin, Jeff Nichols, Dave Spitz, Bob Daisley, Bev Bevan, and Eric Singer. No Geezer Butler, no Ozzy, no other drummers that they had in the band prior to that. So you have that, and it's a Warner recording. It's from the Analog Tapes. This actually comes on a beautiful red vinyl. So we'll show you that. There we go. If you're a Sabbath fan, you probably already know about this album. If you haven't listened to Sabbath or this era, this is a pretty decent album to check out. And, this, like I said, completes the Tony Martin era because there was the box set, which I did a video on back at the end of last year, towards the end of last year, like the last quarter. And it had everything in there but this. You may ask yourself why. Very simple. Record company changes. That's why. You get a different contract, different company, end up on a different label, and there you have it. So this completes that, which goes nicely with the Anno Domini collection that came out last year. So that's that. Next up, very cool release from one of my all-time favorites, probably a lot of everybody's all-time favorite. Another live release from David Bowie, okay? And this is a 2-album set. You've got basic black vinyl. Labels aren't, anything spectacular. They're not awful, but they're not anything spectacular. Got a live shot there. This is from a reality tour. And you've got your liner notes there and track listing for that slab. And close-up of David there. And the track listing as well. 2 slabs of heavyweight vinyl. Show you the back. And there is an insert in here, which is a beautiful poster. Promo poster for the show. David Bowie's reality tour. Very cool. I actually have the DVD of the reality tour somewhere, so it's nice to have this on vinyl. And this had a very eclectic mix of tunes from David, and I'll run through them quickly because we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna chop this up. Otherwise, it would be forever doing videos for Record Store Day. One thing I will say, it's like I watched a couple of other creators' videos, and I was surprised that some people, bitching and moaning and pissing on on the list. The list is a list. Whatever's coming out, whether it's an anniversary, whether it's a re-release, whether you like the artist or not. It's like, I was in line, I was 12th in line today, and I got just about everything I wanted, and I got a ton of stuff. And there was young people in front of me in line and young people in back of me in line. And, a few things. One, I thought it was very cool that there was younger people, like people in their 20s grabbing vinyl. To me, I love that. All right. The other thing is that, just because I'm not a Post Malone fan or a Taylor Swift fan or a Billie Eilish fan, that doesn't mean that it's crap. That's their generation's music. Let them enjoy it. The fact that they're out there buying vinyl and keeping the format alive, I salute them. And the other thing is this. I like when I see young people in line. I don't see a lot of guys my age in line. You know why? Then I know I'm not arm wrestling somebody for, something like David Bowie's Ready, Set, Go, live at Riverside and Studios in 03. All right, that's the joy. It's like, look at the line. It's like Taylor Swift fan. Oh, this kid's getting the Wicked album. There's a kid. There was a dad there with the girl. She was like 5. Awesome. Was going there to get Taylor Swift and Bluey. How cool is that? And I'm making my business. We're out there, and it was freezing. It was miserable. I made it my business to sit out there and talk to people because I have a big mouth and I don't shut up. My wife Laura's always telling me, why are you always talking? Why are you always talking? Because my brain's constantly running. It's that ADHD thing. So it's like, I'll talk to them and I find out what they're, twofold. Find out what they're into. It breaks the ice. It's nice to speak to people, when you're out in public, and also lets me find out what they're getting. So I find out what they're getting. Luckily for me, no one grabbed this before I got in there. So we got in this New Killer Star, Pablo Picasso, Never Get Old, The Loneliest Guy. Then side 2, Looking for Water, She'll Drive the Big Car, Days, Fall Dog Bombs the Moon, Try Some, Buy Some, Reality, Bring Me the Disco King, Hello Space Boy, Cactus, and Afraid. All the latter stuff from Bowie on this release. Very happy to add it to my ever increasing David Bowie collection. It's like they keep putting out live stuff. I'm gonna keep getting it, RSD or not. And I try. That's another thing we'll talk about. Do you try and get the exclusives? Do you go into Record Store Day and do you have a plan? Or do you just go in there like you're browsing at Costco or something? You're just going down the aisles looking aimlessly and you don't have a clue. I go in, I'm like a goddamn assassin. I have a list on my phone and it's like, all right, these are the ones I got. These are the ones I got to get. These are the Record Store Days exclusives. Got to get those first if I can. Then I got to try and get the first release and stuff that's regional. And it's like, do you do that? Because that's the way I am. Or do you go in willy-nilly, and just not bother? I go in with a plan. It's like I'm marching off to war. I try to be as friendly as possible, but still, I want what I want. I want it now. Next thing I got for you. All right. Isobel Campbell and Mark Lanegan. Some people might not know who these folks are. I do, obviously, and I love both of their voices, and it's a very unusual pairing. So Isobel Campbell was one of the singers with Belle and Sebastian. She embarked on a solo career, which she's had a successful solo career. She's from Glasgow. And you have Mark Lanegan, the one-time singer for the Screaming Trees. And, may Mark rest in peace. And I'll tell you this, if there's any book readers out there, or even people that do audiobooks, especially if you do audiobooks, the Mark Lanegan book is phenomenal because Mark reads the book himself. And since he's passed, it's great to hear his voice telling his story, and what a story it is. It's called Sing Backwards and Weep, I believe is the name of the title of the book. And it is excellent. If you're a book reader or audiobook listener, check that out. Go to Audible, wherever you get your book from. Incredible. So they actually paired up. This was one of the many pairings that Mark did during his time with the Trees and after he left. And the best way to describe Mark's voice, it's like somebody took, it's not Tom Waits raspy, all right? It doesn't have that level of rasp. But it definitely sounds like somebody, took some really good cigars, dipped them in some really good bourbon, and had been smoking them for 2 or 3 weeks on end. Very earthy voice, really, really good. If you like Nick Drake, not Nick Drake, Wild God Tour, Out with St. Vincent, Nick Cave, thank you. Like I said, tired end of the day. Nick Cave, similar in timbre, and this is basically tracks that didn't make it onto Sunday at Devil Dirt, all right? And these are extra tracks. Some of them are redone or different versions, like you have Keep Me in Mind, Sweetheart. Then you have Fight Fire with Fire, Asleep on a Sixpence, Violin Tango, Rambling Rose, Clinging Vine, and Hang On. And you have pictures there of Mark and Isobel, and then you have a picture of Isobel on the back. And it's basic black vinyl. And this is a cooking vinyl release, which those are always pretty spectacular when they do those. Nothing extra in there, but something? The music is what matters. So you have that. And if you ever get an opportunity, like I said, take a listen to that book or read it. It's harrowing, it's compelling, and it's an excellent read and an even better listen, I think. So Isobel Campbell and Mr. Mark Lanegan. And it's a limited edition on this one, so I'm very happy to have this. It came out on CD. This is the first time I believe it's being released on vinyl. Next up, All right, this is going to be the next to the last one for this video. All right, we've got one of my favorites, Peter Gabriel, Ovo. Okay, and this was a multimedia project that was put together for the Millennium Dome back at the turn of the century. And this is a beautiful release. I mean, the artwork is just stunning. And, you know, Peter did the music. Can't remember who the artist is that did the artwork because I'm shot. But you have a lot to listen to, a lot to read, and it is two really gorgeous slabs of vinyl. This one is blue. All right, so you got the insert there. And then we have the other one. Show you that. Some more of the artwork. I guess if you're a New York Mets fan, this would appeal to you just for the colors on the vinyl, blue and orange. I'm a Yankee fan. So it also comes with this book, The Story of Ovo, which breaks down what it's all about. And it's pretty extensive, right? It goes through each of the acts of the it's not really a play, but the art installation. Very, very cool stuff. So you have that. There's no, there's not like there's Peter Gabriel 2's like San Jacinto on here, but you have The Story of Ovo, you have Low Light, The Time of the Turning, The Man Who Loved the Earth, The Hand That Sold Shadows, Time of the Turning, Reprise with The Weaver's Reel, Father Son, The Tower at Eight People, Revenge, White Ashes, Downside Up, The Nest That Sailed the Sky, and Make Tomorrow. And Peter's not the only artist on here. You also have Nana Cherry. There's other artists in here as well. You have Jim Barr on bass, Shankar on vocals on certain songs. It's a multimedia presentation, and obviously this is the vinyl version of it, but I've heard it before. It sounds phenomenal, and I'm sure that since Peter is involved and it's a Peter Gabriel release, it's going to be great. I'm not going to be terribly worked up about this not sounding good, because I can guarantee you this one sounds fantastic. Peter does not put out inferior products. And what a gorgeous cover, isn't it? So, final release for this portion of the video. Okay, we're gonna drop down to the Jays. All right, and this is a Record Store Day exclusive as per the hype sticker, and a lot of the music on this has never been released on vinyl. Doesn't mean it has been released, just first time on vinyl for some of this. And this obviously is Jethro Tull, Songs from the Vault, 75 to 78. And I'll take a look at the gate there. You have Ian Anderson speaking to who is it here? Martin Webb. So Martin Webb transcribed everything. Ian's thoughts on the tracks that are in here. And this is basic black. You've got the labels are shows the band, at that time frame, but the basic black vinyl. Try and show you the labels a little closer up. See, we turn that way. There we go. And show you the other one as well, since the labels are different. Why not? And get this out here. So you have that and that. And, this comes from Songs from the Wood, Minstrel in the Gallery, Heavy Horses. So it's all outtakes from there. It's a 2-record set. And you've got Summer Day Sands, Requiem, an early version of that, Quiz Kid, which was version 1, Salamander's Ragtime, Commercial Traveler, A Small Cigar, an acoustic version of that, A Small Cigar, an orchestral version, Strip Cartoon, Old Aces, Die Hard and All. That's the other one. Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. One Brown Mouse, an early version, Magic Bells Ring Out, Solstice Bells, Living in These Hard Times, version number 2, Horse Hoeing Husbandry, say that 5 times fast, I dare you. Working John, Working Joe, early version, Beltane, Living in These Hard Times, version 1, A Stitch in Time, Everything in Our Lives, Jacqueline, an early version of that. That's one of my favorite songs from Tull. Quatrain, Botanic Man Theme, In a Town in England and Botanic Man itself. So, this is mixed by Steven Wilson in most cases, with the exception of Robin Black. So just the fact that Steven Wilson has something to do with it is good enough for me. So that brings us to the end of part 1 of Record Store Day 2025. So you're going to have to come back and see what else is still in the stack. All right. See you in the next video. And as I always say, thank you for coming to check out the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you visited before and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe. And drop a comment. Tell me what you got on Record Store Day. I want to hear your stories and what your experience was. Share it across other platforms. Maybe someone else might dig me rambling on about music. I certainly enjoy doing it myself. So that's that. But we're going to take a little time out here, reset my set, as I call it, and we're going to do some more video. And as I always say, peace, one love, music, I'm out.